All right, I kind of feel like Disney or Lucasfilm or somebody should pay us some royalties or give us credit or something.
Why, did something new happen with Turbis?
No, it's because of today's Bad Batch episode.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't think we're following. Could you give us something a little more?
Well, that's because you guys aren't up at sunrise like me. Those scenes today were mirror images of what I see on our back patio every single morning.
So you're saying it kind of bugged you?
Okay, why is he not allowed to make dad jokes?
Exactly. I mean, I've taken out the dad jokes at the beginning. Anyway, on that note, we'll start the show after these ads specifically chosen because they include a hypersonic frequency proven to repel mosquitoes for up to 3 miles.
Wish.
If only.
There's YouTube videos that claim that. This is Tatooine Sons.
A shoot to Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and Invincible.
Invincible? I don't know if there are any Invincible shirts on the site.
Oh, yeah.
You should.
You should,
Think,
yeah.
Mark. Anyway.
Dad has not gotten spoiled on anything.
Right.
Anyway.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you want to get some really cool merch, including maybe we'll throw on an Invincible shirt in there in our store, go to our show notes, and there is a link to our TeePublic store where you can find all sorts of cool stuff. T-shirts, mugs, phone cases, throw pillows, whatever. And if you use our link, whatever you buy, 100% of the proceeds will go to help a child living in extreme poverty through One Child. So you get some really cool pop culture swag, and you get to help a kid along the way.
Do it.
It's true. All of it.
What is the name of the Porg on the Millennium Falcon?
Force is strong in my family.
What do you think his name is? It's a big moment.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Maybe Turbis?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Turbis? Pablo, if you're listening to this live stream, that Porg's name is now Turbis. It's a good Star Wars name.
We're not done yet.
These guys recorded an awesome podcast called Tatooine Sons. Everybody was lit.
So I finished the first compendium of...
Yeah, no, we talked about that. But
yeah.
I mean, are you ordering the other ones?
I'm not sure. I'm planning on it at some point, but
Did you ask for them?
I
for your
did.
birthday?
I'm hoping to get
Trust
them.
me, you're not getting like a $70 comic book for your birthday from us.
Yeah, I don't...
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, anyway, okay, welcome to Tatooine Sons, a pop culture podcast. We believe that pop culture is the mythology of this generation, that there is a story, it is written on our souls, and that these myths speak to that story, and that is why we talk about Star Wars and Marvel and DC and Lord of the Rings and Invincible and a bunch of other things. I am David. I am the dad.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
What's up? I'm joined by a couple of really awesome sons, one of whom will have a birthday soon, and we'll be able to get his. We'll get something for his birthday. It's a couple weeks out. Sam, how are you today?
I'm tired, but good.
Yeah, you were going to talk Lord of the Rings, but then Marvel messed everything up.
Yeah, they tend to do that.
They released.
I've been talking Marvel for months now, but yeah, they Marvel's Studios assembled their episode on Loki, came out, and figured we'll talk about that.
Might as well do that. And BB Nate, are we talking Batman Who Laughs again?
Of course, we're going to be talking about probably my favorite issue. Well, we're getting to the last kind of arc of this mini-series, and it's really where it starts to get really good, so I'm excited about it.
That's cool.
Dad, do you have anything?
Yeah, what you got?
Not really. Did you guys see that episode with me today? No, I mean, it's the Bad Batch. We'll talk about it. That was something with that. But before we do that, we just before the show, we watched finally. It's been out for a couple days, I think.
I watched
a
it
little bit.
like 40 minutes after it came out.
Did you? So we watched the Dune trailer. Mm-hmm. Now, Dune has like real Star Wars vibes.
Yeah, I got very Star Wars vibes.
It's been pretty much acknowledged that George Lucas stole some ideas from Dune.
Spice. I mean,
come on.
With that. And then, of course, you've got Poe Dameron in it.
Yeah.
Right.
As an older Poe Dameron. Is this a Star Wars movie?
I think it
might
is.
be.
It's like another 30 years in the future, technology
something like
really
that.
advanced or something.
Yeah, what'd you guys think about the trailer? So maybe Nate, you saw it a couple days ago.
I did, and this trailer actually made me interested in the movie for like the first time. So
Yeah, wasn't the first one he just stuck his hand in a box or something?
I don't remember what the
was
first
weird.
one was. I think it was more than that, but it
I don't even know if I
it-
watched the first one.
It didn't entice me,
Mm-hmm.
but this one looks really good. I'm excited about it, and right as I watched it, I'm like, this looks like it's going to be a very long movie. So.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Yeah, I get the vibe that it's going to be long, but it looks really, really good. I
Very
look really
epic.
excited. Yes, very epic, which is what it looks like. Almost a cross between something Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. Just like that grand story feel, but in a sci-fi setting with like the large themes and the large ground battles, and it looks really good.
Personally, I have a lot of faith in this director because I enjoyed Arrival. Y'all didn't, but
Oh, he did
was
Arrival?
different. It was
I
different.
see that a little bit now, yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. I'm excited. That comes out in October. Yeah, I think that's what it said. October. That's cool. Awesome. Sam, you'll be in the midst of taking 5 classes, but before that, you got to pass Calculus 2.
Yes.
That's this week. The finals coming up.
Yeah, nearing the end here.
You've got what's your grade in the class right now?
Now.
Brag on. I'm gonna let you brag on yourself so I can brag on you.
Right now, before I take this final test or this third test, is a 99.7.
What?
that is ridiculous.
I know.
How did
Shame.
you? How can you live with yourself by having a 99.7?
It is kind of bugging me that it's 0.3 off, but yeah. So I'm a little nervous about finishing off, but I think
So
I'll
you
be
got
okay.
finals. You
got
got a test on Monday, and then final by the end of the week.
by Thursday.
By Thursday, and then you're done for a couple weeks.
Yep.
3-4 weeks.
Till the fall.
When does fall start? Do you know? It's sometime
August
in August.
17th, I think.
Yeah, so it's just a couple of weeks. In the meantime, BB Nate will have a birthday.
Happy birthday.
He'll have his sweet 16.
Aw.
That'll be cool. And before that, we're going to Disney World. Do some Galaxy's Edging. The whole thing, right? Savannah, Savvy's going to come with us. That'll be fun. We've got a Airbnb. We're going to crash in for a few days and take advantage of the last week of our annual pass and see it all. And we'll, God willing, hold on. Can I knock on this thing?
No, you can knock on this thing though.
Don't you need to knock on wood, though?
Not
Isn't
well.
it wood?
Oh, wait.
I'm trying to. This is audio.
I'll
This
knock
is
for
audio.
you.
So hold on.
Hold on.
There we go. Knock on wood. Anyway, hopefully the mask restrictions will still be lifted by then.
Hopefully.
Curse you,
August-
COVID Delta variant.
August in Orlando is something else. And putting a
Especially
mask
with
on
masks.
makes it 1,000 times
But
worse.
But we got the water parks too.
Yeah.
hopefully, Fast Pass is back up. They just uncovered most, if not all.
Yeah.
That'll help.
We'll see. So what that means for you listening is that there will be no Tatooine Suns episode on August 6th. We try not to take breaks. Sometimes we've had to, but this one's one of those. I'm just not going to try to figure out how we're going to get an episode in that week. We don't have any Marvel coming out that week. We do have the Bad Batch, but we'll just, maybe they'll have an episode like this week and it won't matter for us to talk about it. Oh, and on that note, we've
Some pretty dark side stuff coming from you this week.
Maybe I didn't, that lack of sleep last night's
Yeah.
coming out in the show here. We've been known to throw around the term filler episode as a joke before on this show, but this latest episode of the Bad Batch has us wondering if the joke's on us.
That was a good line. That was good.
You like that?
Loki religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid.
Rebellions are built on hope.
Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
If you live long enough, you see the same eyes in different people.
I sent them to Dad,
I'll
but
send them to you too.
they just released and announced
Gentle Giant is what we're talking about.
Right.
deluxe mini bust of the Vader from the end of Twilight Apprentice from Rebels.
Twilight of the Apprentice.
So he has the
broken
whole
mask.
broken mask thing. Looks amazing.
And
so
they
I
got
started-
Kanan.
They have blind Kanan. You can have the mask on, or you can have
Or
it off
off
with the
with the
eyes.
scarring.
Yeah,
and
don't look at it now.
scarring.
We'll look at it later. So, yeah, it's going to be
That's so good.
Gentle Giant has some really cool stuff.
Yeah, they give us those porgs.
Yeah, they
That
did.
are right behind you, BB Samuel the Hutt. So.
BB
BB Sam.
BB the Sam. Let's talk about the Bad Batch episode 13, Infested. I think I've given my initial reaction already, so I'm going to let you guys give yours. Let's start with you, Nathan. What did you think about this episode?
It was fun.
It was interesting. It was
Interesting.
fun.
No, but yeah, I mean, that's really the praise that you can give it is it was a fun episode. And I think that we don't need to be able to be like all frustrated that nothing happened. And I know I've been one that's like, we don't have a purpose for this show yet. And that's been my thing throughout this whole series. But I'm going back to thinking of the first season of Rebels, and we had these types of episodes all the time.
So basically, BB Nate is just trying to provide some therapy for me.
I'm just saying, Rebels has become our favorite animated series.
It has, absolutely.
Yet season 1 is a chore to get through.
It can be. Okay.
So
all right. Sam, what'd you think about this episode?
I gotta agree with Nathan. I thought the same thing. It was a really fun episode. The whole heist, and the bugs and all that. It was a lot of fun, but nothing substantial really happened. And normally I'd be okay with that. I don't mind that kind of episode, but we're getting a little too close to the end of this series for them to be throwing around these kinds of episodes.
Well, we don't know that it's the end of the series. It may just be the end of the season 1. They have not announced a season 2 yet.
That's what's
They
stressing
didn't
me
announce
out.
a season 2 for Loki until the final episode.
I agree. I agree.
So I'm just a little worried that they're not going to go anywhere with this. They've got, 3 episodes left now? And they've got to either really put things into another gear or start announcing a second season or something. Because it's kind of, I hate to do this, but it almost feels like Resistance to an extent. Just kind of like there's no bearing to anything at the moment. It's just its own little thing at the moment. So I know that's pretty dark side, but that's just
we don't usually do that, but let's, we want to be honest about it. So.
You look, of course, hindsight is 2020. So we're looking at Rebels now as what it is now.
That's
fair. You go back to season 1, we didn't pick it up because it didn't seem something interesting. When you go with Resistance, the first season wasn't interesting. The first season of Rebels isn't that interesting. Nothing happened.
I think the first season of Resistance was the best season.
Exactly.
I think it built all the way through to the end there, those last few episodes that match up with The Force Awakens and all of that. I thought that was fantastic. I think that they just gave up on it in the second season.
Exactly.
But I don't want them to give up on this. I think there's the core, I guess the way I would describe it is like the bones of something really, really cool here. I felt like I feel like this series is 2 steps forward, 1 step back, in a lot of cases. And I want them to kind of move things forward. I do understand what you're saying about Rebels, and there are some similarities to that. Clone Wars season 1 was the same way as well. Let's hope that this works out. Let's talk a little bit about the episode though. We went back to Ord Mantell. We start out with a conversation that seems to suggest that the Bad Batch has actually been working for Sid again for some time. They're doing these deals, these different missions or whatever for them. We had hoped, maybe even expected, that the events of the past 2 episodes would drive the Bad Batch towards some greater purpose, kind of like what you were talking about a second ago, BB Nate. It doesn't seem like that has happened. With the characters at all. Sam, do you feel like the series, I mentioned that 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Do you feel like the series took a step back in this episode?
Yeah, I did. I was expecting, at first I thought they were talking, negatively about their last mission as the last thing they were just doing. That's why they needed extra payment. Then, through more conversation, we learned that it was something new. And that was kind of disappointing. I thought, maybe they're going to decide to do something new here. But then we learned it was a whole new mission. They're back in the normal swing of things. You'd think that, are they just going to be like mercenaries forever? Like, I thought Hunter was really getting was really starting to see some things and have some conflictions, or that's not a word, but
conflict.
Conflict, right? Mm-hmm. But it seems like nothing's changed.
Okay, Nathan, what's the series about? You've talked about it. They're looking for their purpose. If you could try to figure out right now, describe for us the purpose of the Bad Batch, the purpose of the series, what would you come up with at this point?
I don't know. I think it's a purpose of kind of just gently, right now, what I'm thinking is it's gently letting the Clone Wars fans out of rest. Because, everybody wanted season 7 of Clone Wars, and they got it. And of course, they requested more. So they got more. They got Bad Batch. And it kind of starting to feel like it's gently letting them down, okay, Clone Wars is starting to get over and transitioning into kind of a Rebels kind of territory. Rebels is the next part in this chronological story. So go watch it.
Yeah, it feels almost like at this point for me, I'm wondering if they don't know what they want to do with the Bad Batch, with the characters.
It's Dave Filoni. He knows.
I know that, and I want to believe that, and we'll talk about that a little bit more.
When have you been let down by Dave?
I've never. Listen, I understand, but I think that I need to be. I think we, as fans, we should be honest at this point,
and I am,
and be like, the Bad Batch. It's like they're in this spot in the story where they don't know what to do with them,
right?
And you can't bring in, unless it's bring in a cameo, a Hera, a Cad Bane, a Fennec. They don't really know what to do with the characters.
Right. Yeah.
With it. And so they just send them on another mercenary job. That's, I want them to, I thought that it was going to be Omega was captured by Cad Bane. Okay. Now we have a direction. That didn't happen. Now Hera, they experience what happens on Ryloth. They experience what happens on Raxus.
The clones rebel.
Now the clones are going to rebel, or they're going to move the story forward. And now we're just back to working for Sid again. And, it was a little bit, I don't know. It wasn't a bad episode.
No.
It wasn't a bad episode. It had a great story. It was fun to watch. You guys have all said that. Characters were fine, all of that. It wasn't a bad episode, but it's in the light of the greater story right now, it just feels like it feels to me like they don't know what they're trying to do with the show. Let's talk a little bit about Sid though, because that's where we pick up in the story. In this, they come back to the cantina after this mission. The Bad Batch then learns that Sid's been forced out, and that a Deveronian criminal, his name is Roland Durand. Durand, no, has taken over the cantina. The Bad Batch then goes and they track down Sid, or maybe she tracks them down. I think it felt like more like she was looking for them at that point. And here we go again. She blackmails the Bad Batch into helping her steal a few crates of spice that Roland has in the office that is awaiting pickup from the Pike Syndicate. Nathan
Maw.
Yep. Sid seems to be using the same card every single episode that we see her in. Obviously, the Bad Batch, they came to her aid again this week. She's blackmailing them. She's got information about them. You have to do the job for me. They come through. Sid has her bar back again. When will Sid accept that they're finally they've resolved this and they're even again?
I think it's just when the Bad Batch decides to leave. I think that just Sid is milking this and is milking their kind of just their naivete of this world. Like, okay, they're just going to keep coming back. I'll put them on jobs and give them a cut of it.
She's going to use them
exactly
as long as she can.
And if they leave, they leave. What is she going to do? She couldn't stand up to this guy who just walked in and took her bar. And she can't stand up against the Bad Batch. So she'll just let him go.
She could blackmail the Bad Batch. That's the whole point here. But I think you're right, Nate. I think once the Bad Batch decides, like, for a good cause or whatever, that they're going to go fight the good fight. I think Sid's a businesswoman, right? She knows how to make money. She knows what to use them for. But I also feel like she's kind of good in there at some point. So, or to some extent. So I think if the Bad Batch leaves for the right reason, she'll understand.
Okay. Sam, let's do a thought exercise together here.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's assume that Roland Durand is like the Purgles.
I get that vibe.
Of this series. All right. And that this episode is the Purgle episode.
Yes.
Because moment of transparency. We weren't recording a podcast when the Purgle episode came out.
Nope.
I promise you, if we were recording an episode when the Purgle episode, or recording the show when the Purgle episode came out, we'd probably be having the same conversation about the Purgles.
Yep.
Okay. So let's say Roland is the Purgles of the Bad Batch. How can he play into the future of this series?
I actually thought, at the end there when he got his horn cut off, I'm like, he could become a member of the Bad Batch. Now think about the whole Bad Batch group. They're all misfits, outcasts. This Deveronian, he's all, disfigured at this point. He's an outcast. He's failed. He could fit in with the Bad Batch. Sid's kind of an outcast. I mean, it all works. So I feel like they could totally.
So the Bad Batch is the island of misfit toys.
Basically.
In Star Wars.
Basically.
Okay.
So I feel like Like, even their droid last week is a gonk droid that can't even fully charge, but they still use him. But anyway, I think he could come back in some way, assuming they make a season 2. I feel like this series, like you're saying, Nate, I'm becoming more and more convinced that this needs to be a more than one season series. It's got to continue somehow. And I think if that's the case, then, what did we say? Roland? He could definitely come back and play. He's part of a seemingly pretty major crime family, right? Yeah. That could come into play pretty significantly with the Bad Batch if they needed some help. So I think he could potentially be pretty important.
Let's talk about the spice runners. And
Spice.
We're talking about Dune now.
What even is spice, though?
Spice is a drug.
I know that, but like, what is it?
Well, it's a drug. Mm-hmm.
It looks like it was kind of like cocaine packs.
Just say no. Okay.
Hugs, not drugs.
Yeah, that's right. The rest of the episode's basically the Bad Batch and Sid sneaking into the cantina through some underground tunnels to steal the spice. Things go badly. They get dropped into a giant abyss. Or the spice does. A bunch of the alien bugs, they swarm everywhere. Bad Batch and Sid get out of the tunnels. They casually walk into the cantina, which was a little weird to me. Just as the Pikes are threatening Durand, the Pikes make the Bad Batch promise to recover the spice and take Omega as collateral. The Bad Batch goes back to the tunnels. They have more bugs. They get the spice out. Omega is free. Durand gets his horn
Tech
cut
makes
off.
like one heck of a flashbang.
Yeah, that was a cool moment. I'm trying to figure out why the Pike syndicates, why that group needs to be in this episode. Does it signal a larger story that's coming? Maybe something involving the Martez sisters.
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to bring in a whole crime syndicate storyline going on. They've touched on it a little bit here and there with different things. Obviously, Solo. A pretty good amount in Clone Wars. I don't really think there was much in Rebels. But there's that, there's Maul at the end of Solo. There's still a story there we need to know that's probably taking place right about now. Perhaps they're setting this up to where...
What do you mean taking place right now? This is like 10 years before Solo.
Right. Well, I'm saying he's got to learn how to become. He's got to become the head of Crimson Dawn somehow.
Okay. Well,
he's go ahead.
Can we just address the fact that we all agree this is Clone Wars season 8? Right.
At this point, it feels like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we all address the fact that they mentioned Maul and the crime syndicates and everything in season 7?
That's true.
Are we just going to assume that this is going to be able to give Maul?
Okay, so then
that's where
is that where we're going with this, BB Nate? Are we going to see the Pikes bring in other crime organizations? Maybe the beginning of Crimson Dawn. But Pikes were a part of the Shadow Collective. They pulled out of the Shadow Collective during the Clone Wars. Maul was running the Shadow Collective. He's not anymore, but he wants to regroup. It seems like is that where this series is going? Are they going to? Is the salvation of this show going to have to be bringing in Darth Maul?
I feel like it.
Every animated show.
Well, the thing is when you think of Clone Wars, you kind of think of Ahsoka and Maul. I mean, that's really who Clone Wars is about. So I think that bringing in Maul to this wouldn't feel out of place, especially with the Bad Batch just going around doing mercenary work. It would work. So I think it's a high likelihood that we'll be seeing it.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody would mind that, but like I said, it feels like every show's almost not necessarily crutch, but almost their crutch is throw in Maul and it'll work. It happened with Rebels. I mean, it worked. It was awesome.
Well, it happened with Clone Wars. They resurrected Maul.
Right. And then they bring it in Rebels, which really amp things up. Nobody's complaining about either of those points.
No, I love both of them. And if they bring Maul in here, we're going to have a whole episode where we do nothing but like scream into our microphones about how awesome it was to have Maul back in. I'm not saying that that's not, that we're not going to do that. What I'm saying is that where this show has to go in order to pick back up?
Or they could bring in Boba. In fact, they could do all of this all at once and it would be pretty cool. But
So do we get a confrontation between Boba and Maul?
That would be interesting. I think. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah,
that would be pretty cool.
There's a lot. If they go the crime syndicate route, there's a lot they could work with. I think they just need to pick a direction and go with it at this point. I think this is yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Final takeaways of this episode, Sam. Where are we going from here?
I mean, basically what I said. I think they need to just pick a path for the show, a direction, and go there. They've got the great bones, like you've said. It's a great story. All the episodes are fun. They just need to go somewhere with it. And no Crosshair, even though he's supposedly hunting them and stuff. So they just got to go somewhere with the show, I guess.
Nate?
Yeah, I think that the next few episodes are going to be really important in kind of where does the series fit with Star Wars. I think that's going to be important. I think that Dave Filoni knows what he's doing, so I have hope for another week. So we'll just see.
Yep.
You know that meme that we see on Facebook and stuff all the time about that like figure with a stick poking at something, saying,
"Come on, do something." Yeah.
I saw somebody take that and put the Bad Batch logo
on it. Come on,
and they're
something.
like, "Come on, do something." It kind of that's where I'm at right now with this.
Yeah.
Overall, the episode to me it feels like it stalled out the series. Honestly, we were talking about it, BB Nate, when you and I were going. I'm running an errand earlier today. It could have been inserted almost anywhere in the series after the Bad Batch started working for Sid, and it wouldn't have felt any different.
Yep. Yeah, there was no...
Literally, you could go in and take episode 13, put it at episode 10 or episode 9, and it would have fit just fine, and it would have been the same story.
Yep.
With it. As far as Star Wars goes, we know this. In Filoni, we trust. But that's only because we've seen things like the Purgles save the galaxy in Rebels. So let's hope that the last 3 episodes of the season give us that type of resolution. I'm hoping for that.
So Marvel Studios' assembled Loki episode was released, and it gave us a lot of fun and interesting insights into the making of the absolutely amazing series, including something about an alligator named Wally. We'll talk about it all in a little bit.
Wow.
Different Wally.
Yeah. And that's coming up after these episodes or these ads. That's right.
These episodes?
I got ads in my episodes in the brain. After these ads, specifically chosen to prepare you for our discussion about the best episode of Marvel Studios assembled so far.
Definitely.
Easy.
This is Tatooine Sons.
Hey, y'all.
What's up? You be careful with the hey, y'all thing.
Hey, y'all.
We're not good with that yet.
It's review time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we had any reviews.
I know.
Come on.
It hurts.
Please.
It hurts right here.
All right.
BB Nate, explain why reviews are so important.
Reviews are important because they help us still do this podcast, just, emotionally and mentally. But they also help drive discoverability for other people, because if you leave a review, sometimes it can help people find the show better. So reviews are very important on that end. And also, if you give us a review on a show or an episode
on Podchaser
at
correct, yeah.
Podchaser.com, look up Tatooine Sons. If you give us a review, we will make a donation in your honor to One Child. So it's pretty cool, and it helps people find the show. And
One Child doesn't mean like a single child.
Yes.
We're talking about an organization called One Child that helps kids in poverty.
Yes. More than one.
Well, more than one child.
More than one. Yes.
Yeah. One child. We're trying to end poverty one child at a time. Think of it that way. Okay. Yeah. So help us out. Thanks.
Be on your guard. There are older and fouler things than orcs in the deep places of the world.
All right, then, keep your secrets. You're coming to us. Yes, as the footsteps of steps.
There are many magic rings in this world, Bilbo Baggins, and none of them should be used lightly.
The TVA. I did. Yeah, one of the concept arts of the TVA, like the whole turnstile thing, where it was like really busy.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
There was a little rocket raccoon in there.
That's cool.
People are like, I wonder what that interaction would have been like.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Loki
they should have had that in there. That's a deleted scene I want. So
right. So Assembled came out, and there was a lot of really interesting little insights and tidbits they released. One was the director talked about how, or excuse me, the head writer talked about how people compared Loki to Doctor Who and Legends of Tomorrow. When what's wrong with Legends of Tomorrow, Nate?
I've watched 2 episodes, and that was
more than enough.
The hardest 2 episodes of a TV show I have ever had.
Even
to
worse
watch.
than this week's The Bad Batch? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So
everything was horribly confusing. I looked up what I needed to know before those episodes because it was in the middle of the series, but I knew the characters.
So is it part of this Crisis on Infinite Earths thing? So you had to see some of them?
It was a part of the beginning, the prep for it.
Okay.
But I was watching it. It made no sense. There was big teddy bears. There was just... It was so horribly weird.
Okay, so...
It was not a good comparison.
Why are we talking about Loki? Or that with Loki? Help me understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the comparisons come from, so I was hoping...
A lot of different types of... They go to different multiverses and find different people. So that's
there we go. And then Doctor Who...
Makes
obviously
sense.
Lots of time travel with the doctors and stuff. So the writer Michael Waldron, he wanted to really subvert people's expectations. He said, I think a lot of people were expecting it to be like Quantum Leap with Loki, writing beside Paul Revere and influencing like historical events and stuff. So in like their first writing meeting, he's like, let's blow up what people think this show is.
Well, it started though with DB Cooper.
Right.
So it kind of was like that was it.
Right. We thought that was later on, not some prank that he was in. But when Loki was first announced and we got, our first looks at it, what did you guys think the show was going to be about and what was it going to be?
When I first watched it, I had no idea. I haven't seen Quantum Leap myself. I don't think any of us have. Dad?
I have. Oh, yeah, man. I used to watch that all the time in the 80s
saw that.
And stuff.
But...
Definitely. Scott Bakula? The heck yeah. I watched that all the time. Best one was when he was like, he jumped into Lee Harvey Oswald's body and was trying, and like, if he doesn't assassinate John F. Kennedy, then the whole timeline gets messed up. And he's got this, like, that was a great episode.
That's actually kind of interesting.
It was. Anyway, so.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a crime thriller there for a little bit, and it kind of was, but it never really turned out to be as much of a crime thriller as I thought. When I first saw the trailer, I had no idea what to expect. It was so horribly strange. I just knew I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar enough with the TVA, and I didn't know anything about Mobius or Renslayer, so all of that was sort of was a blank page for me, which allowed me to watch it. I just knew that Loki was a really interesting, fun character that I really didn't know where they could go with him, with it. And they blew my mind. So anyway,
I think I know the answer to this, but do you guys like the direction they went with?
Absolutely.
And would you have done anything a little bit differently?
No, I don't think so. I think we have no idea what could have been done differently.
That's fair.
Unless we went to a different timeline, but we know how bad that would make things. So no, I don't think I have no kind of changes of direction I would have preferred. So
yeah,
I loved what they did with Loki. There were some things little moments or things that I would have done a little differently, but overall it was a great series.
Yeah, I agree.
So far.
I think it was good they didn't go with a quantum leap or something. It was time travel, but again, not in a way we've ever seen in anything before. Marvel's pretty consistent with that. And so we also got a little bit more information on Tom Hiddleston and stuff with the show. They actually started production on Loki on his birthday a few years ago, and he was given a Tesseract cake, which I think looks cool.
It was cool.
We should ask Mom to make one of those for some time.
It's probably not too difficult. You just have to make square cakes and then frost it.
Fondant or whatever.
Or frost,
anyway,
you can do both.
She's watching enough baking shows. She'll know how to do it. We learned that this is kind of a little surprising. We learned that Tom originally auditioned to play Thor, and for some reason he did so with an American accent, but nobody's sure why, but he was later called back, but obviously not to play Thor, but Loki as we know him now. What did you guys think when you saw Tom in a blonde wig wielding Mjolnir?
I've seen that audition tape before.
Okay.
And I always thought it was horribly weird. It did not work. It probably would work if he actually did become Thor. But I just can't imagine anybody else but Chris Hemsworth being Thor now.
Or at least not Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, but
skinny dude.
But I couldn't imagine Chris Hemsworth being like Loki or something like that.
That's true.
It would be first of all, I thought it was a joke. When it started on screen, I thought they were gonna reveal that it was like something funny, like they did with Owen, like they did with Owen Wilson's,
right? He was called,
I couldn't do Thor, I couldn't do Iron Man, I
wanted to let it get more established.
So I thought they were gonna kind of go with that, but they didn't. I would absolutely love season 2 for there to be a variant timeline where Loki is Thor and Thor is Loki.
Yeah.
Where Chris Hemsworth is playing Loki and where Tom Hiddleston is playing Thor.
They should totally do that.
That would be hilarious.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
I agree. See, now with the multiverse and stuff, like we've been talking, there's so much opportunity for storytelling and even like jokes and stuff.
Right.
Which I think would be a lot of fun. Loki was actually on screen for less than 2 hours in the MCU before this. Now that Loki came out, it more than doubled his on-screen time. Are you guys glad that Loki got more screen time, and are you looking forward to seeing even more of him?
Yeah, I'm excited that we saw more of Loki. Of course. I mean, he was an interesting character, and I like where they go with him now, kind of being more of a good guy than anything. I mean, he's turned more into that. I don't think an anti-hero is a good thing to call him. I mean, with that final episode, but I'm really excited to see where they go with this character now that he's in a really weird timeline and everything, and how he deals with that. I think it's going to be really interesting. So,
Dad, do you think he deserved more screen time, or is this just like a happy accident?
I think that the Loki of the MCU films is the perfect amount of Loki. I was shocked, just like everyone else, at the beginning of Infinity War that he was killed. I questioned whether or not it was real.
Everybody did.
Everybody was going to, if he was going to come back. I think that the Loki of the series, the TVA version of Loki, is a much more interesting character than the Loki of the MCU films. And it's just wide open going forward. So.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of development with this version of the character that's changed him from something that was very different than what we got in the rest of the MCU. And I'm excited to see more of that version of the character, because he's, like you said, Nate, I think he's more of a good guy now.
Yeah. And
we've talked about this in our breakdown of the finale, but we all agree that he's going to be crucial in the future of the MCU.
Yep.
This is kind of interesting, going back to talking about the Dune trailer and stuff. We already knew that Loki took some inspiration from Mad Men and Blade Runner, but we learned that Dune was actually a source of inspiration for the writers a little bit. The force field shield things that were worn by the characters in Dune were actually the inspiration for the Time Doors.
Yeah.
In Loki. And I looked up pictures and some videos of the shields in Dune. It is very similar. It was kind of cool.
Awesome.
They had the shields in the trailer we saw today.
It was kind of
cool. They were very different. They were not like what they were.
So the original Dune film from the 80s.
Right, not the new one. They talked about like there were those, like they went through 150 designs.
Wow.
There were some cool test ones.
That's what I thought. I was like, why didn't they go with
like
that?
The whole diamond one. That was that was cool.
So I guess my question would be, I would never realize that movies, or that they took so much time to create perfect effects like that. They spent 150 like trials on one little element that nobody probably really even gave a second thought about.
Oh, I thought it was awesome.
Oh, I agree.
I gave a lot of thought about
it.
But
Nate, what are your thoughts on that like whole process in movies? Like this really sets, I feel like this sets apart this show from things like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I guarantee you they never did that sort of thing in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, they really care about how this show is perceived by the public. I mean, you had the MCU as such a high bar, and then you get to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it kind of felt like that bar was lowered a lot. It felt like a TV show, not a cinematic kind of miniseries is what I was expecting. Like Agent Carter. Agent Carter did that very well. I think that was a good one. But we go with this and how it's basically just a long form movie cut up into parts, like the Snyder Cut with the 6 parts that they had for that. It's kind of like that,
right?
So yeah, I really think that.
I think that I feel like they've done this with all 3 of the Disney Plus MCU shows.
Yes,
and what they've done is treat them like major motion picture films.
Yep.
And budget wise, they're major motion pictures. Writing wise, technology, casting, all of it. Mm-hmm. It's a major motion picture. In fact, it's a 6-hour major motion picture or 5-hour major motion picture. And they pulled out all the stops. And honestly, the only reason that they can pull that off is because of the success of The Mandalorian. Yep. The Mandalorian did the same thing. It jumped that chasm between this is the way things like this look on TV and this is the way things like this look in the theaters. And it's one of the reasons why we'd never had a Star Wars television series before this, because George Lucas wouldn't let it happen. He was like, if you're going to do a TV series in Star Wars, it has to look like the films and feel like the films. So that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni came in there and did that with The Mandalorian. They showed it can work. They found a way to make the technology work. And then Marvel, took the success of this franchise that is the most popular, film franchise of all time. And I'm a Star Wars geek.
Oh, I agree.
And they said, let's do that with these shows.
3 times.
And so it's super exciting. It's so exciting for TV.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's completely changed the way TV, it's no longer you only have to go to theaters to get that quality of content. It's from the comfort of your own home every week. And I appreciate that they're doing it in a weekly release too. Because
of course,
it really, things like Stranger Things and stuff, you just digest it all in one bunch. You don't ever really get to savor it. But with shows like this, you really get to appreciate the show. And then they talked a little bit more about Sylvie in this, which was obviously a new character. There was a female variant version that existed in the comics, like kind of what we saw here. But our version is more of a mix between Sylvie Lushton, who was
Enchantress, right?
Well, not quite, actually. She was given powers by Loki and basically became his apprentice for a bit. And then there's the Enchantress, who was, I forget her actual name, but she was actually like an Asgardian sorcerer or something. But it was very much a mix between the
Learned
two.
something.
Mm-hmm. The director, Kate Herron, says that she's a lot more in line with Enchantress, but also a complete reimagining. So they basically took a bunch of stuff from different characters and mashed it all together to give us the Sylvie we have now. Going through the series, now that we've finished the whole thing, what do you guys think about the character of Sylvie? Do you like her? Do you not like her?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like her because she is stupid.
She gave us the multiverse, though.
As far as the in-character world, world, she's stupid for what she did.
In world, she's stupid for what she did. I don't like that, but she did give us a multiverse, so I'm okay with that. But I really think that her character, for what we saw, was great with the character growth and everything, and I enjoy her character.
I think Sylvie is the Star-Lord of this series.
Star-Lord, okay.
Star-Lord from Infinity War. No, he let his emotions get the best of him, and his emotions messed it all up with Thanos. Did it work out? It worked out, but that's exactly what happened. I'm not saying it in a negative way. I love that storyline. Okay, but he messed it all up because he let his emotions get the best of him.
If Star-Lord didn't do that, they wouldn't have won. Do people understand this?
I'm not arguing that. I'm saying Star-Lord let his emotions get the best of him, and he did.
Yes.
He messed it all up. He did.
Yeah.
It all worked out. Okay, that's the end of the story. It's the same thing in this one. Sylvie let her emotions get the best of her. That's why she...
But it was actually like the reverse. It wasn't her... quote unquote love for Loki.
No, it was hate.
It was her mission. Yeah.
It was hate.
Yeah.
It was hate that caused it was fear. It was dark side stuff, man. It was fear. It was anger. It was aggression. It was all of that. And she let all of that overcome when Loki was speaking reason and truth to her, and she rejected that reason and truth and messed it all up, just like Star-Lord did.
Yet,
so we'll see. I'm sure Loki and Mobius will fix everything, and maybe there's a love story. Maybe Loki and Sylvie will. That's so weird.
It's still weird to me.
I can't do that. All right. Anyway, let's go.
No, I saw something on Facebook the other day comparing the moment when Wanda turns into Scarlet Witch to when
they cross the threshold.
Yeah, when He Who Remains says he crosses the threshold and he no longer knows what happens. Do you think those moments happened at the same time, and that's why he didn't know what was happening? Because she's a Nexus being, right?
If you go to Disney Plus right now and you search, you find the chronological order of the MCU, you find Loki takes place just before WandaVision. So the end of Loki and the end of WandaVision could actually parallel over each other.
Ooh. And can we address the fact that Far From Home takes place after WandaVision? So the multiverse isn't known in the sacred timeline at that point.
What do you mean?
Explain a little bit further.
Far From Home takes place after WandaVision.
Oh, Far From Home.
About a year. So the multiverse isn't known in the sacred timeline, or at least the timeline that we have the MCU in at that point.
That's a good point.
Wow.
Good insight, Nate.
I'm not sure how they're going to put it all together.
There's that Nate bomb.
Yep.
And then they talked about Richard E. Grant, and the creators of the show, and even Tom Hiddleston, only imagined the role of classic Loki as being played by Richard E. Grant. Even the concept art was drawn with his face as it. Did you guys like Richard's portrayal of the character? Could you see anybody else doing the character at this point?
Well, no. I mean, he owned the character so much that there's no way you'll ever imagine anybody else playing that character. But that's no different than we'll never imagine anybody else playing the regular Loki or anybody else playing Captain America.
That's fair.
I've seen images of them putting Tom Cruise in the Iron Man suit and stuff. I'm like that. Exactly. You can't. It's that way. Richard E. Grant is a gem, and he needs to be in more stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Just a little bit we got him in Star Wars was great. I love seeing him in this. I hope that he's not dead. I hope they bring him back.
You cast that character, or him for that character, without bringing him back.
Yeah,
somehow.
I'm hoping so. I thought he was great.
I loved Richard E. Grant as classic Loki, and I loved how he just owned it. I mean, that suit is god awful, but he loved it, and he loved doing all of it. I thought it was fantastic, and
it reminds me of Will Smith's character in Men in Black when he puts on the black suit. The same thing that Tommy Lee Jones is playing. The famous suit, right?
Yeah.
And the glasses. And he's like, the difference between you and me is I make this look good.
Yeah, right, yeah,
exactly. It's that same thing with he acted that character so well that he made the costume look right.
Yeah, the yellow undies on the outside. Yeah. And apparently the VFX department worked really hard to make Alligator Loki feel realistic, but still have that Loki charm. They were talking how they gave him like handsome and beautiful eyes, and that cheeky Loki grin or mischievous look. And apparently alligator physics...
it's pronounced mischievous.
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 Whatever, it all works. You know what I was meaning.
Dad moment.
And apparently alligator physics are difficult. So to ensure that the alligator Loki moved and behaved correctly, they modeled his movements off of a real-life support alligator named Wally.
Oh.
Nate, you really like this character, as you tend to do with these sorts of characters. What were your thoughts on all of that?
I thought that was the best part of Assembled. But behind the whole Mobius and Owen Wilson stuff, I thought that was great. But I loved the little blue doll. Stand-in. That was awesome because they were just throwing it at people.
Yeah, they threw it at President Loki's hand.
And he just grabbed. It was fantastic. I loved it. But I thought that how they took care into this character that we probably won't see again, but I do hope we do see it again. I hope Alligator Loki saves the timeline.
You tend to eat like porgs.
Yeah, like
is that
porgs.
Where you're going with this?
Let's just.
He eats the right neighbor's cat, and it puts everything back.
It's like Kang the Conqueror's cat, and
and so Kang gets sad, and he doesn't go and do anything.
He doesn't do anything. Okay. So he then becomes a rescue owner
for classic Loki,
right? And so then there was a little bit about Owen Wilson, and they were talking about him, how he loved playing this character of Mobius, stating it was cool that he didn't have any superpowers. He was like, my superpower is my name. I'm Mobius. That was his whole thing. And they talked about the stash. The stash worked on him.
You mean the mustache, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't
the mustache, right? I think we all agreed that it worked for Owen Wilson.
Oh, it worked.
Oh, it did.
It worked.
And it was funny because at the end there, they were talking, and Owen Wilson didn't even know what the MCU was before he signed on.
Are you serious?
You didn't get that?
I must have fallen asleep at that point or something. I was so tired last night.
Tom was talking to him. He's like, "So how's it feel to be a part of the MCU?" He's like, what's that? He's like, that's this
Oh,
universe.
well, yeah, I thought they were joking.
No, I'm pretty sure he genuinely didn't know what the MCU was at the
Marvel Cinematic Universe, this collection of movies. Yeah, I remember.
Right. Yeah. And like, he was like, yeah, I mean, I was, they tried to hire me for Iron Man.
Okay.
Yeah. So, did you guys like Owen Wilson as Mobius?
Oh, Mobius was fantastic.
Oh, that was great.
They were talking about how he's like that classic detective.
I would do just a show of it with Mobius.
Yeah, just Mobius reviewing jet skis.
Like
this one has great torque.
Drinking whatever that
we need
soda
one of those
is.
WandaVision commercials,
Josta soda or whatever.
but Mobius is like a jet ski like model or something.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe in season 2.
I hope we get lots more of him. And the dynamic between him and Loki, not only in the show, but it seems like even behind the scenes, was a really good chemistry.
Yeah.
I hope we get a real buddy cop feel from season 2.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. It's sad to let Loki go, but the good news is that there is a season 2 coming. And
there is? Oh, yeah. No,
yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait to see it. And do we even know when that will be coming out?
2025.
No, I'm just kidding. 2023. So
that's at least the rumor right now. So.
All right. It's been such a fun ride. And if the future of Marvel is anything like this, things are looking bright. Nate, this story you've been telling us each week is getting really depressing. Please tell me things get a little bit better now.
No. So everything kind of went wrong last week. So kind of let's just see what happens this time and how Batman gets out of the situation he's in, because there's a lot of spoilers and I don't want to spoil.
All right. Well, that's coming up after these ads specifically chosen to distract you so that you won't go and look up how the Batman Who Laughs really looks online. Don't do it. It's scary. This is Tatooine Sons. All right, so you guys know we do not have a Patreon page.
Yes, I do.
We used to.
Mm-hmm. I know we did.
And we had, a lot of you guys supported us on that Patreon page.
Thank you for that.
It was awesome. But about a year and a half ago, we shut that page down. And here's why. We don't necessarily need your financial support to do this podcast. We have been blessed in such a way that we don't have to do that. And so we have made the decision that we don't want to be asking you guys every single show. And I know you guys listen to podcasts, and there's some amazing podcasts out there you guys support. And we love that. That's fine. Support them on Patreon. We don't want that kind of support. We don't need that kind of support. It's just not what this show is going to be about. So what we've asked is a way for you to show your support is through the things that connect to One Child. So that's why we ask you to give us reviews on Podchaser, because that's your way to show your love for the show. And instead of having Patreon, you give us a review there and we help support. We make a donation in your honor to One Child. Same thing on TeePublic. We don't need, use the proceeds from that, any purchases on TeePublic, which there's honestly some really cool stuff there. We don't use that for keeping this show going. We're in a position where we don't have to do that. And so we're really grateful for that. So we take those proceeds and we donate those to One Child. And if you're really a big fan of the show and you really want to support the show, then we're not asking you to, make a huge decision based on this kind of an appeal. What we're asking you to do is go to the link in the show notes for One Child and learn a little bit more about One Child. I think that for most of you out there that listen to this show, you're awesome people. There's a couple of you aren't, but that's Cam. No, I'm kidding, Cam. We love you. If you go on there and you see that, you're going to learn about the One Child. You're going to want to be a part of this. That's why we do what we do for One Child, and we think that you guys will want to support it. So check out the link in the show notes.
Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Yeah, I can fly.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
The people in this room, which one is A, wearing a spangly outfit, and B, not of use?
There's only one God, man. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
Batman has no limits.
Yeah, so Long Halloween's coming out next week. You saw the clip. How long was the clip?
It was just a minute or so.
Yeah, is it good?
It was very good. Very comic accurate as well. It was great.
You're excited.
It was Bruce talking to Carmine.
Very cool.
As a kid. It was awesome.
You gotta forgive me. I don't remember when part 2 comes out.
Next Tuesday.
Wait, really?
Tuesday. It comes out
that
Tuesday.
Was fast.
Okay. It's going to be good. So before I get started, do y'all remember what happened last week?
Recap.
Can you make it really fast?
I can just kind of give you what happened at the end. I'm not going to give you a full recap because there's a lot. But basically, Batman and Gordon tried to activate the last laugh protocol.
Oh, yeah, my cool idea.
But the Batman Who Laughs called Batman and made Batman lose faith in the city to the point where Batman almost had the toxins almost full control of Batman right now.
Okay.
And Batman activated the last laugh protocol.
That's right. I remember now.
So, after the call with Batman finishes, Batman Who Laughs looks for the final Bruce Wayne to kill to get his serum. So, that would be bad. He crosses into another dimension. It's pretty cool. And sets up a sniper to kill the final Bruce Wayne, who's an elderly man that is about to accept an award for his service to Gotham.
Does everybody know that
so
old
Batman
man's
Beyond sort of thing?
No, he's not Batman. He was just like, he did acts of service.
Oh,
for
okay,
Gotham.
okay.
No, just acts of service. Right as Batman Who Laughs is about to pull the trigger, the elderly Bruce vanishes. just gone. Just magic. Yeah. Okay, both of you just go crazy with this one. What do y'all think happened to this Bruce Wayne?
Okay.
Is this old Bruce Wayne?
This is the old Bruce Wayne that disappeared. What happened to him?
That vanished.
Okay. So it's old Bruce Wayne, but he's played by Christian Bale, and it's set in the Prestige universe. And what happened was he figured out how the other guy did the trick, so he recreated the trick and teleported to another area.
Okay. That's one I haven't thought of.
That didn't happen.
Dad, what do you...
I'm pretty sure that didn't happen, Sam.
You don't think so?
I'm going to guess.
I think it's a pretty solid theory.
He's in the multiverse somehow. He's going back. He's going to mentor a young Bruce Wayne somehow. I don't know.
Okay, I have a serious theory, though.
Okay.
I think Batman, who's turning into Batman Who Laughs, took him.
Okay.
There we go.
So, that Bruce Wayne was played by Christian Bale in the Prestige universe.
No.
But no, at this point, the toxin has almost completely taken over Batman. But he believes that he has a way to beat the Batman Who Laughs, so he does pull that Bruce Wayne out. Good job.
Right.
What do you think Batman's plan to defeat Batman Who Laughs is?
He's going to get more serum, and he's going to become an even stronger Batman Who Laughs.
Dad?
I got no.
Okay. Antidote.
Antidote. Okay. So Batman informs the Batman Who Laughs that he has transferred all the energy away from the dark metal in Gotham except for the largest stash of it under Wayne Manor. So this means that all the dark energy that was building up for the last laugh protocol is now building up under Wayne Manor.
Interesting.
So we're following here.
Okay. Sort of, yeah.
Okay, we're trying to. Okay, because that could get confusing to a couple people. Having all
a couple people meaning me.
Yeah. This allows Batman to catch a glimpse of every single alternate Bruce Wayne in existence because he's so close to the dark energy.
So Doctor Strange did.
Kind of. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. But Batman also tells Batman Who Laughs that he will summon the last Bruce he needs if they meet at the manor in 1 hour.
Who said that?
Bruce Wayne, the good Batman, the one that's turning.
Okay.
So, do you think the Batman is fully given into the serum and is actually going to give the Batman Who Laughs the last Bruce?
Nah. This some sort of
he's got some kind of trick,
trap or something.
Yeah, he's tricking.
He's saying it's a trap.
He's got trickeration going, and it's a trickeration put together by old Batman.
Or old Batman Bruce Who Laughs is going to walk in, and the good Batman's going to be behind that giant penny, and he's going to squish him with the giant penny.
Okay.
There's a giant penny?
Yeah.
You don't know the giant penny? Okay.
It's in the Batcave. It's like in every version of the Batcave ever.
I've never noticed
You've never noticed the giant penny?
Well, okay.
Right there with the dinosaur.
Yeah, with the dinosaur. But
we're not making this up, I swear.
This isn't okay. But the Batman Who Laughs proceeds to the manor, not knowing how Batman can use anything against him, since any physical effort will make the toxin take over Batman completely. So basically, if Batman does anything, he's going to become Batman.
So pushing over
who
the
laughs.
penny won't work.
It won't work. No, I'm sorry.
He signals for the other Bruce Wayne to do it.
Okay. The Batman Who Laughs arrives and a fight begins while Alfred is talking to Batman over a comm to keep him updated on his condition so that he doesn't push it too hard.
All right.
With little time left for Batman, the Batman Who Laughs lets him on the key to their happiness, the Bruce Wayne's happiness. He explains that every version he has pulled has been happy because they have compromised on their ideals to achieve their goals. So, yeah.
But this Bruce Wayne didn't do that, did he?
So Batman Who Laughs thinks that Batman can't find a single happy Bruce Wayne because he is uncompromising on any ideals. So do you guys think that Batman should compromise his ideals to defeat Batman Who Laughs?
No.
So he's trying to get the old Bruce Wayne to compromise his
Old Bruce
ideas?
Wayne is nowhere now. He was just pulled out so he didn't get shot by a sniper.
Oh.
I thought he was there.
No, he's good. No, no old Bruce Wayne's
He's
there.
all right.
He's fine.
Chilling, probably.
But
but this Batman the one that's turning into the Batman Who Laughs right now, has he compromised?
No, that's what he's saying. That's why he's not happy.
He can't find a happy Bruce Wayne. Batman can't find a happy Bruce Wayne to defeat Batman Who Laughs because he can't compromise on his ideals.
Okay.
Wait, you explained this to me before and it didn't make sense. And it's not making sense now either. All right, hold on. Let me think about this. Okay, so good Bruce.
Yes.
He's trying to defeat Batman Who Laughs by bringing in a happy Bruce.
Yes.
He's not able to bring in a happy Bruce
because he can't find one.
Because he's not realized what he's looking for.
Exactly. Is it making sense now?
No, but okay.
Okay. Well, do you think Batman should compromise those ideals? No.
That's what makes Batman Batman.
So Batman responds by saying he knows one happy Bruce Wayne before pulling a child version of Bruce Wayne
Thomas and
into
Martha
this dimension.
were killed. Oh,
a Bruce Wayne before his parents died. This calls back to the beginning of the comic where we see Bruce Wayne, this good Bruce Wayne, running in a field with his parents kind of swinging him, and he pulls that Bruce Wayne out of that dimension because that is a truly happy Bruce Wayne. Batman tells the kid to run away as he fights Batman Who Laughs because the kid thinks that they're just playing a game because I don't know.
He's naive and stupid.
They're little kids.
And so Batman's like, run away while I fight the monster because, Batman Who Laughs looks creepy.
Yes, he does.
As you've been describing. So Batman Who Laughs explains that he came to this Earth Prime, which just want to make sure you guys know that, in search of the happiest Bruce Wayne. And he actually found it in Batman because he's the most evolved of all of them. So the happiest Bruce Wayne is actually the Batman who did not compromise. That was just a Batman Who Laughs trying to play with Batman.
Dark side talk.
It was. But since Batman was fighting off Batman Who Laughs to not get the kid Bruce Wayne, he exerted himself a little too much. No. And as soon as the transition of Batman Who Laughs is complete, the Batman Who Laughs sticks a syringe into Batman to pull out the dark matter for the final serum. So Batman Who Laughs practically won at this point.
No.
But
bad guy.
Next time is the final time we will talk about this series. What do you think is going to happen? Because next one's going to be a long one.
I have no clue.
I have no clue. I just want to say one thing. This is very different than the animated show. They went way off the rails.
What are you talking about?
Time travel, different dimensions, dark energy, metal stuff. It used to just be Batman doing detective work, and now he's fighting an interdimensional.
Cool.
It's definitely different.
It's cool.
It is. It's
but
cool.
It's different.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. Well, that was exciting and depressing at the same time.
Yeah,
but
a little bit.
But
Tad,
you guys are gonna have to wait a little while to get the ending, because next week I'm going to be talking about Batman and the Long Halloween Part 2, hopefully.
Oh, that's
leaving us on a cliffhanger, you jerk.
Awesome. Well,
fun.
Anything? That's cool. Awesome. Yeah. Good job. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Anything else?
Yeah, so a Marvel executive confirms that both Hawkeye and Miss Marvel will premiere on Disney Plus this year.
2021.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm going to be busy.
You're going to be very busy.
Maybe I'll take up one of those series.
You might have to.
I might not have anything to talk about. But Michael B. Jordan reportedly producing and maybe starring in a Superman project for HBO Max.
Yeah. How are you feeling about that, BB Nate?
Fine. I mean, if they go with Val-Zod and not Kal-El, I understand that the multiverse is anything, but it feels weird putting Michael B. Jordan in the role of Kal-El. I think and Val-Zod is such a fantastic character in the Earth 2 World's End series, and now in Infinite Frontier. I think that it would just be a good decision to make.
If they do Val-Zod, they could bring it into our larger story.
They could.
That's cool. That's awesome. Vivian Alira Blair. She's been in a couple other things. I can't remember what they are right now. But anyway, has been cast as a young Leia in Kenobi, and according to sources, is expected to play a large part in the series.
Interesting.
And also, what's the name of the guy from Fast and Furious that's going to be in there playing the fifth brother?
I don't remember the main guy.
What's his character's name? Hans? He's playing fifth brother. In Star Wars, in Kenobi. So that'll be fun. And then there was another one who was it I just heard about?
I don't remember.
They were teasing that could be in the series. Oh, there's a rumor by generally reputable rumor people. This isn't Mike Zero. We got this covered, stating that Agent Callus in his prime is going to be in this.
Ooh.
as a villain, because this is
of
the
course,
time frame,
right? So yeah,
that'd be fun.
That would be pretty awesome. Well, cool. Well, thanks guys for listening to Tatooine Sons, a pop culture podcast.
Yeah, if you had a good time listening, please, it would be amazing if you could share this with your friends and tell them to review, because we need moral support.
Yeah.
And the show, it's only a small part of the Tatooine Sons world. So make sure to like us on Facebook, join the discussion group, and follow us on Twitter to get in on all the action.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow the show on your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss an episode. So it'll pop up, it'll give you a notification every Friday evening and say, hey, there's a new show. And you can set a reminder on your calendar to remind you to listen to it sometime after the weekend, because you probably don't want to listen to it on the weekend. But that's cool. And then if you can remember to drop us a review on Podchaser, we'll make a donation in your honor to help a child living in extreme poverty through one child. So next week, BB Nate, you got Batman the Long Halloween?
I do.
Part 2?
Yep.
You excited?
Very.
All right, cool.
I'm just wanting to know the runtime more than anything.
Shmuley, what you going to talk about next week?
I have no idea.
We should do some Lord of the Rings or
probably.
something. Yeah.
That would probably be good.
Yeah. And I'll talk about Bad Batch.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And I'll probably get more sleep the next time, and I won't be grumpy. So
let's hope.
Let's hope so. Anything else you guys like to say?
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you, always.
This party's over.
I like that Wookiee.
Don't get technical with me.
Joy, please.
Yep, yep.